two letters about Hanukkah. Now you're wondering, what does Hanukkah have to do with Parashah Bo Yetzias Mitzrayim? Well, when we're finished, you'll understand what I mean. The Wall Street Journal had an article about Hanukkah. And in response, a few days later, there were two letters to the editor about that article. I'd like to read them to you. One of them says, he quotes the Shulchan Aruch, that even a poor man who can't afford oil is obligated to sell his clothes to buy oil and proclaim the Hanukkah miracle. Pirsume Nisa. An interesting custom in Sephardic Jewish communities from the Ottoman Empire, that's the ancient empire which today, the remnants of it, is Turkey, of course. There's an interesting Jewish custom in the Ottoman Empire called Shabbos Halavashah, the Shabbos of clothing. During the week of Hanukkah, to make sure that no poor person ever has to take such drastic action as to sell a garment to buy oil for Hanukkah, we collect and distribute clothing for the cold winter days ahead. In many communities, this is done with great fanfare and even special Hanukkah songs about clothing the poor. Next letter. Mr. Oppenheimer calls the rabbinic dictum to prioritize buying Hanukkah candles over basic needs, quote, hypothetical, end quote, noting, again, quote, we don't really know if any Jew ever sold his clothes so as to afford oil for 8 wicks. In fact, we do. Amid the horror and starvation of the Łódź ghetto, Jews purchased Hanukkah candles at the expense of food, medicine, and clothing. We learned from the diary of ghetto prisoner Oscar Rosenfeld that 36 Hanukkah candles cost at least 18 marks. Shoes, a dire need, cost 7 marks. And he writes in the diary, not everybody can afford to give his menorah its full gleam, and yet, despite space and financial difficulties, Hanukkah is being celebrated this year in the ghetto with great dignity. Many families have been lighting candles. This was the last Hanukkah that Rosenfeld would celebrate. He was killed in Auschwitz in 1944. But he witnessed his fellow Jews make manifest the theoretical and publicize the miracles, ancient and modern. He reports a holiday, a speech that concluded, Judaism and Jews will not vanish. In the end, there's always immediately a beginning, and thus eternity. No enemy can destroy us. There's a ton of Eliyahu, which says that Jews in Mitzrayim, when they had a quota of bricks that they had to make, and if somebody couldn't meet the quota, their friends told them, don't worry, you do whatever you can. If you can't make enough bricks, we'll work extra hard, we'll work longer, we'll make bricks and give them to you so that you can fulfill your quota. When the time came, when Moshe Rabbeinu came and he said it was time to leave and to do the mitzvah, Korban Pesach, everybody responded. Mila, Korban, the blood of Mila, the blood of Korban Pesach, and that saved Klal Yisrael in the night of Makas Becheres. Halbosha, they took care of each other. Mitzvahs, they devoted themselves to mitzvahs when they were still slaves. And when they heard the call to do mitzvahs, they did it. That's Parashah Bo. It's all in the Sedra. May we be zeicher never to have to do mitzvahs with such Mesorah Nefesh as the Jews in the Łódź ghetto, or not even to have to make parties to raise money for clothing for poor people. But that love and that desire and that enthusiasm for a mitzvah, may we always have that.